Okay, so you see I'm here. I just put some nice lump charcoal inside the egg. I'm going to drop in a fire starter. And I'm going to just, come on, light up that little cube. Okay, just make sure I have a piece of charcoal over it. And once that fire's lit, we're going to go to step 2, which is adding some hickory. And then we're going to do wings today. It's Wings Day. I don't know why. It just is. Okay, see the lid is off and the vent is open. All right, so if you can make it out, here's what we're doing. It's Wings Day. Well, because I just said it's Wings Day, because it's not really Wings Day, but we're doing wings today. And what I'm doing is, see how I have a paella pan here, and I'm laying out my wings in the paella pan, but over some parchment paper. And the reason for that is quite simple. Parchment paper prevents all this stuff from sticking. So, you know, it's a real neat trick for baking, but it works very, very well also for cooking stuff like this, because these wings are going to be out on the smoker for a while. And, you know, they're gonna, you know, if I didn't have the parchment, they would stick. Alrighty, so I got all the wings in there, and now we're gonna do, you know, not crazy. I just want to make sure I get an evenly distributed amount of kosher salt. And I'm going to raise the argument that, you know, since I'm adding kosher salt, the dish is kosher. Yeah, I know it's not. But if you think about it, well, we're not going to get into that now because this is a cooking video and it's not a philosophical conversation, nor is it part of my stand-up. So we're not going to talk about that right now. But that was salt, pepper. We're going to hit it with garlic powder, right? And again, I'm going to sprinkle it from nice and high. See how it looks like it's just raining garlic, right? I want to get a nice even distribution of the garlic. And same thing with the onion powder. Nice even distribution of the onion powder. And I'm going to hit it with a couple other things. Hold on, let me go get them. Okay, so we're going to hit it with a little bit of, I really wanted regular paprika, but I happen to have smoked paprika, and that's okay. I'm going to use a little bit of smoked paprika. It comes out a little bit clumpy, but I'm trying to get a nice even distribution. So it's raining paprika. Okay, and that's it. And this is going to go out on the smoker at 350 degrees for an hour, hour and a half. And then we're going to do the barbecue sauce after. And dip all these wings into the barbecue sauce, add them back to the pan, and cook them a little bit longer in the sauce. You know what? We're going to add one more thing. So here we've got salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, smoked paprika, and I'm going to hit a little bit of white, just granulated sugar, just a tiny bit, just a tiny bit. And of course, the barbecue sauce is going to be composed of some honey. I just bought some cheap honey and some hickory smoked barbecue sauce. I'm going to combine honey, barbecue sauce, a little ketchup, some spices, and some butter, and that's going to make a nice rich barbecue sauce that we're going to throw these onto these wings. Okay, so we're back outside, and I just lit the fire, but you see, if I blow on it, you see the flames are nice there. So this is going to be a nice fire. It's a young fire right now, so it's not very, very hot right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to add the wood chips, and then we're going to put down our grate. We're going to put down an old broken pizza stone for indirect heat, and then we're going to get the wings on top of that. So let me shut off the camera real quick. No, you know what? Here, I've got the hickory chips in this other hand. I'm just going to throw them on top. And the problem is keeping everything in focus while I do this with the other hand. I have issues with that, but it looks like I'm getting better at it because I don't think I've lost focus on the subject yet. Okay, now I'm picking up the grill. Okay, and now what we're going to do, it's an old pizza stone of mine that broke, but for this purpose it's fine. Okay, and this is going to give me indirect heat. And now I'm going to put this rack down. I'm going to put that pan, here are the wings, I'm going to put the wings on top of that. This way the wings never get any direct heat. Okay, I'm going to close that lid. I'm going to put in my thermometer. It's funny, this is the original thermometer that came with it, but it's all burned out. I destroyed that thermometer. I have ruined maybe 3 or 4 thermometers over the years. Okay, and if you look inside, I don't know if you can see. No, you can't. There's too much smoke. But that thermometer is not touching anything. And the egg actually is warm to the touch, but it's not at temperature yet. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to come back out here in about 10 minutes. And so, yeah, right now we're going to come back out here in about 10 minutes and we're going to see that temperature rise a bit. So I'm going to leave the vents fully opened and no lid on and let those wings get a little natural smoke. Alrighty, so it's been about 10 minutes and you see the temperature has gone up to about 200 degrees. Now normally that's perfect for when I'm smoking stuff for low and slow, but for these wings I want that temperature up around 350. So what I'm going to do is come back in 10 more minutes, and then if it's at the right temperature, that's when I'm going to see how it raised up a little bit while I'm here. I'm going to then close the vents and put the lid on. So 10 minutes have passed again. You see I'm up over 400, which that's not really dangerous, but what I'm going to do now is I'm going to close the vent, put the lid on, and we're going to roast those wings. That temperature will come down a little bit in a little while. What I could do also, though I don't want to, is I could lift the lid to let it cool off because the cold air will rush inside. But I could also get a little bit of what is it called? Flashback? Backflash? No. What is it called when you open a room that has a fire and the flames come shooting out at you? Yeah, I forgot that word. But anyhow, that wouldn't happen. But you see how it's already coming down a little bit. So as long as we're below 400, I think we're cool. I'm going to let this go now for 1 hour. So I'm going to set a timer for an hour. Alrighty. So while the wings are outside, we're going to make the sauce. Now I got this from a recipe, and I'm not going to put the hot sauce in it because Leia doesn't like hot. But basically it's going to be mostly barbecue sauce. I'm going to use this Bullseye brand. It's going to have a little ketchup. It's going to have some honey. I happen to have this bottle open, so I remember I showed you this one earlier, but I'm not going to open it because I already have one open, and a little bit of garlic powder. So it's going to be ½ cup of barbecue sauce, and I'm just going to, it doesn't have to be exact. Okay, so I'm a little bit over 4 ounces. That's fine. Okay, and then it's going to be a ¼ cup of honey. And again, it doesn't have to be exact, and we're going to do it on the graduated level here. So we'll bring that up to, yeah, right about there. So it doesn't have to be exact. And I was going to measure out the ketchup, but I'm not. I'm going to, it should be about a tablespoon of ketchup. I'm saying that's about a tablespoon of ketchup. And I'll put the garlic powder into the pot after. So I'm going to throw this in a pot. Oh, it also has butter. We're going to throw in about a tablespoon of butter. Alrighty, so there it is, everything that I just measured out, kind of, in the pot. And I'm just going to throw a little garlic powder in there. You got the butter in there, and I'm going to let this simmer on low for a little while until all the flavors are blended. Alrighty, there it is. It's on a nice low flame, right? And that's it. And then we're just going to keep an eye. I don't want it to boil over, though. I don't think it would. And we're just going to let that simmer. And then later on, we're going to dip those cooked wings into this sauce and then put them back out on the fire for another 5 to 10 minutes. And that's the dish. I know. I said I'd come back in an hour. And it's only been about 10 minutes. But you see how just by closing the vents and putting a lid on, my temperature went to there. So maybe I just want to open the vent up a little bit more than that, because I would like it a little bit hotter than that, but that's okay. I mean, that's not a bad temperature to cook these wings at. And, you know, they're basically gonna fry a little bit in their own fat as the fat renders. So this is actually not a bad temperature. Alrighty, so it's been an hour, right? Our temperature dropped a little bit, so I'm gonna open the vent a little bit more. We're going to take a peek at those wings because I have a feeling they're really not quite done yet. Yeah, see, they're not done yet. I'm going to give them another half hour, and I'm going to open those vents up. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to open up the top a bit, right? Let more air through. I'm going to open this one up a bit. And you see how the temperature dropped because I opened the lid up? That temperature, actually, you know what I'm going to do? Let's do it this way. Let's just open them up all the way. Open it up all the way. Give it a couple minutes like this, and then I'll put the lid back on. And then we're going to give them another half hour. Let's see, can we see them? Yeah, we can see them. So I want the skin to be a little bit more crispy. See all that stuff flying out of there? It is pretty hot. Okay. So I'm going to take this vent now down here and bring it to about there, and put the top on, but leave it open like that so I get more airflow. I'm going to get more heat in that egg, and I'm going to let it go for another half hour, and I don't care if it goes above 400. And while we're here, let's take a look at that sauce. So you see, it's not even simmering, and that's because I have the flame like really low, and that's okay. I'll raise the flame up a little bit later, but see, everything is blended because I stirred it up. I do love it when it works. So it's been 15 minutes, so I got another 15 to go. You see that temperature? That's pretty cool, and I just had that cracked like that, and I have the bottom vent open like that. So I'm going to just leave it like this for another 15. And I'm saying those wings are going to be perfect. Then we're going to take them inside, take them out of the pan, dip them in the sauce, put them back in the pan, and roast them for another 10 minutes. Okay, check them out. So you see how the skin is a little bit, actually I could crisp them up a little more, but you know what? I'm going to give them another 15 minutes. I'm going to give them 15 more minutes, full open vent, no lid, because I really want them to crisp up on that skin a bit. So you see the temperature is going to rise pretty quickly. That's okay. 15 minutes like this, and then I'm going to dip them in the sauce. Alrighty, so we are another 15 minutes in. You see I'm at the 400 mark, and now those wings are done. I'm going to take them in, and we're going to go dip them in the sauce and get them back out here for another 10 minutes. Alrighty, so I'm going to just take these wings out of the pan while they're really hot, put them into a bowl, because I'm going to then layer them back into the pan. You see how nice that is on the bottom there? That's the parchment paper doing its job, so nothing is sticking. Otherwise, that would all be stuck to the pan. All right, let me get them all out of there.